She wore a yellow ribbon. The Diamondbacks not ready to pull a Captain Nathan Brittles and retire from the field. More like another John Ford Classic shot here. The Searchers. The pursuit of a playoff spot still the mission as the Diamondbacks conclude this homestand and head out to face the National League West as soon as we're done here. 4 at the Giants and 3 versus the Dodgers in L.A. Arizona Diamondback baseball is brought to you by Kia. Good afternoon from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. The Diamondbacks concluding this series and this homestand here. And Bob, the biggest question so far is still unanswered. How do you get Edwin Encarnacion out?
How do you keep him in the ballpark, for crying out loud? This guy's been unbelievable. We thought we were catching a break with no Jose Bautista in the lineup for the Blue Jays, but Edwin Encarnacion has picked up the slack. 10 hits in his last 17 at-bats here at Chase Field. 7 of those have left the building, including a long home run last night and a long home run in the first game of this series. This is a guy, as we mentioned during the telecast the last couple of days, wasn't really much of a power hitter throughout the early part of his career, but went north of the border and found his power swing.
And Randall Delgado, who's on the mound today for the Diamondbacks, will have to be careful. That is Randall's chink in the armor here. He tends to leave some pitches up from time to time, and when he makes mistakes, they get hit a long way. He's up against the veteran Mark Buehrle, and this is an interesting contrast here. Very much 38 career starts versus 454 career starts.
Yeah, you have to give the experience edge to Mark Buehrle. This is a guy that likes to work quickly, likes to throw strikes, pound that zone, try to get ahead of hitters, get some quick outs. That's been his MO throughout his career.
Well, the plane is on the runway, and the Diamondbacks, once they finish this game up, head out on the road. When we come back, more on that as we get set to take on the National League West. 4 at the Giants after today, then a 3-game visit to the Dodgers in L.A. Jody Jackson talks road trip when we come back.
Definition of at your service. And by Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build.
Back back here at Chase Field. Day baseball on this Wednesday. It is a getaway day for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Randall Delgado will be on the mound. He'll be opposed by the left-hander Mark BUEHRLE for the Toronto Blue Jays as the Diamondbacks look to avoid the sweep here today. Jody Jackson with you on the field. And this homestand, 9 games, it really hasn't gone as planned for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're 3-5, so today's game becomes a bit magnified. Not only do they want to get the victory to avoid the sweep, but they would like to head out on the road. And that's right, there are 2 more road trips left, all against the National League West, as we usually suspect here in September. And in San Francisco, 4 games set at AT&T Park. You see the numbers there. The Giants have had the D-backs number, and then the LA Dodgers. We know what they've been able to do. You see the record. What they've been able to do since early June has been unbelievable of historic proportions. So a tall task for the Diamondbacks, but Paul Goldschmidt and his teammates, they know that they have to finish strong.
It starts today, like you said, go out and play hard this day game, hopefully get a win, and then show up in San Francisco and play hard again. I think you just got to take it one game at a time, and the season has its ups and downs. It's just how the game of baseball is, and just keep playing hard, and hopefully we can get in a little roll and finish the season strong.
Well, good advice from Paul Goldschmidt. That is our Geico quote of the game. One thing that we have seen, home runs in this series, 7 between the 2 teams last night. Edwin Encarnacion certainly loves Chase Field. We have the call of the game coming up next.
Series and this homestand against the Toronto Blue Jays, and needing a win today to stay above 500 on the year. Taking on John Gibbons' Blue Jays, who come in 64-75 on the year, his second go-round as their manager. And this is the lineup this afternoon that will face Randall Delgado for the Diamondbacks.
As usual, we're going to have Jose Reyes at the top of the order. Ryan Goins hitting second, playing second base. There it is. Edwin Encarnacion, that guy in the 3 spot. Obviously have to keep a close eye on him today. Brett LAWRIE in the 4 hole. It'll be Davis, Sierra, Aaron, Sebia, Ghost, and BUEHRLE at the bottom of the order for the Blue Jays today.
15th start this year for 23-year-old Randall Delgado. 90 hits allowed in 90 innings this season. He was outstanding in his last start, but got 0 run support and lost despite pitching 7 innings of 3-hit ball against the Giants.
Boy, and it was really tough the way that came about. He gave up a leadoff double, a sac bunt moved the guy to third, a sac fly scored him, and that was basically it against Randall Delgado. He cruised through the next 6 innings of that ball game.
Jose Reyes leads it off, underway on a Wednesday afternoon at Chase Field. There's his strike. It's 0-1. Hunter Wendelstedt, the home plate umpire today. Reyes at .292 and 9 homers. Center field. That drops in front of A.J. Pollock, and Reyes is on board after 3 hits in last night's ball game. This is defense for the Diamondbacks behind Randall Delgado. Want to start, Bob, for Matt Davidson at third.
Yeah, a little bit of a different look, trying to jumpstart that offense a little bit. It'll be Prado in left, Pollock in center, Parra in right, Davidson at third, flanked by Willie Bloomquist at shortstop, Aaron Hill, Paul Goldschmidt once again on the right side of the infield, Miguel Montero behind the plate for right-hander Randall Delgado.
We'll get an extended look today at Matt Davidson, the Diamondbacks' third base prospect. Ryan Goins, second baseman. Goins at .325. That's some good news that just crossed the news desk here in the booth here, PB.
I heard the ticker going off in the back of the booth there.
We got an alert. 0-1 to Goins. Reyes on first. Martin Prado, as well he should be, was just named National League Player of the Month for August. He hit .374 in August with 30 RBIs. He had 43 hits, tied for the second most in a single month in Diamondback history. Tied with Gonzo in June of 2001. And there it is, right to Martin Prado, one away. So congratulations to Martin, well deserving certainly after just a monster month of August.
Absolutely, really should be no surprise to anybody that Martin Prado is the National League Player of the Month. You put up numbers like that, you deserve to be recognized.
Now you better recognize Edwin Encarnacion. He's been a handful here. He was on base all 5 times. He came up last night. 36 homers, including 2 in the series so far. There's the strike. It's 0-1. This was Encarnacion last night.
Oh, got a high fastball from Will Harris. No doubt about it. He doesn't hit many cheap home runs.
He was a triple shy of the cycle. Single and double that long home run. He also walked twice. Had an RBI and scored a run. That is a fair ball down the left field line. It gets in the corner. Reyes is on the move. They'll wave him in, and he will score. Edwin Encarnacion is at it again. His 28th double. And just like that, it's 1-0 Blue Jays.
Well, as I mentioned, now the second start in a row that the leadoff man got on against Randall Delgado and quickly came around to score. Hopefully that'll be all for the Blue Jays against Delgado today. That ball got out in the corner, rattled around long enough for Reyes to come all the way around from first and score.
So 3 batters in. It's 1-0 Toronto. Here's Brett Lawrie. There's the strike, 0-1. Lawrie 255, 10 home runs. He had a pair of RBI singles in his first 2 at-bats last night. 0 for 4 in Monday's opener.
A number of these Blue Jay hitters have a lot of movement in their swings, which for me makes them good off-speed hitters. They can time that bat waggle that Lawrie has up there. I think a straight changeup in the middle of the plate was going to be dangerous to this guy. That should be right in his wheelhouse. Like to see Randall use that fastball and curveball on occasion. Stay out of the middle of the plate, especially with the changeup.
Randall for the 3rd straight start, going with the eyeglasses, which have worked out really well so far. One and 2. High in the air, shallow left center. Willie Bloomquist is out there. He's got it for the second out.
Left fielder, number 11, Rajay.
There's Rajay Davis. 264 and 3 homers. Davis homered last night. He was 1 for 5. Also struck out 4 times. So it was feast or famine. Delgado misses there. 1-0. This was Rajay Davis last night.
Hit that ball a long way, just to the left, to straightaway center, off the advertisement out there above the fence. Towering home run.
2-run shot in the second. It would have been a 3-run home run had Jose Reyes not been picked off first. Well, there you go. Rajay Davis, home runs in back-to-back games, and the Blue Jays have jumped out early on the Diamondbacks. That's his 4th of the year, and it's 3-0.
And obviously this is the last thing in the world the Diamondbacks needed. A team that's been struggling to score runs, struggling to stay out of double plays. Spot the Blue Jays to a 3-0 lead in the first inning before you even get a chance to take your at-bats.
Moises Sierra now. I'm almost afraid to say it. Sierra homered last night. The way this inning's been going. Encarnacion homered in the 8th. We showed you Davis in the 2nd. Sierra had a home run in the 9th off Yuri De La Rosa. And just for the record, here it is. Sierra, big night last night. Pair of doubles, the long home run. It was his first of the year. 3 RBI night for him. 1-2.
Yeah, we've seen some long home runs hit here to right center and right field, but we haven't seen the ball carry the way it has in this series. I think it has a lot to do with the Blue Jays hitters. They take some aggressive lift swings, and when they make solid contact on the barrel, it goes a long way.
That one is rolled to third. Matt Davidson. That ends the first. But the Blue Jays score 3. CenturyLink your link to what's next. Willie Bloomquist in the 2-hole tonight. 9 for 16 since he's back from the DL. one big hit away from getting right back in the ball game, and they'll have some work to do here. Here is the lineup for the D-backs today.
A.J. Pollock at the top, followed by Willie BLOOMQUIST and Paul Goldschmidt. It'll be PRADO, Hill, and Davidson in the middle today. Miguel Montero, Gerardo Parra, and Randall Delgado make up the bottom of the order.
Strike one from the veteran lefty Mark Buehrle, 34 years old, 11-7 in his first season with Toronto. Traded from Miami last winter after signing a big free agent deal with the Marlins, and was pretty public about not liking the fact he was dealt by Miami after signing that long-term contract to play there. He's in the second season of a 4-year, $58 million deal. And he has been tremendous lately, unbeaten in his last 8 starts.
Boy, and you better be ready to hit when you step in that batter's box. Buehrle is the second fastest pitcher in the major leagues, only 18.2 seconds between pitches.
Hard to short right at Reyes. One out. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that he'd be matched up against Wade Miley just so we could have the contrast.
That would have been something. Here's how the Blue Jays are going to line them up defensively. Davis in left, Ghost in center, Sierra in right. It'll be LAWRIE and Reyes on the left side of the infield. GOINS and ENCARNACION on the right side. JP Arancibia behind the plate for left-handed veteran pitcher Mark Buehrle.
One of the few guys that might actually work faster than Wade Miley. He has been tremendous lately. 6-0 in his last 8 starts. An ERA during that span of 1.93. Buehrle has not lost since July the 20th. There's strike one to Willie BLOOMQUIST, who steps in at 341. Willie hit into a double play in a pinch hit appearance last night.
Now, Buehrle will feature a couple of different fastballs. He'll sink it away from the righties. He'll cut it into the righties. Occasionally he'll throw a high 4-seamer. There's a real good straight changeup and an occasional curveball.
He is also one of the best fielding pitchers in Major Leagues. He's won several Gold Gloves. Keep that in mind. But any little numbers right back to the mound. There's the arsenal. 1-2. Upstairs, 2-2. Willie 9 for 16 with 3 RBIs since his return from the DL a week ago today. He was out since June 27th with that broken hand and missed more than 50 games. Here's the 3-2. Roll to second base. Ryan Goins is there. 2 up, 2 down here in the first. And it's been quite a contrast. Mentioned the last 8 starts for Buehrle. He's been much better, certainly, post-All-Star break.
He's been as reliable as anybody in the game. This is his 425th consecutive start without a trip to the disabled list.
Everyone's physiology is different. That's the amazing thing. All these theories about pitchers and innings and shut them down and don't. There is no golden rule. Here's Paul Goldschmidt, 293, 31 homers, and 104 RBIs. Goldie 0 for 3 with a walk last night. He is hitless in the series. In fact, he's hitless in his last 17 plate appearances, which goes back to what we were talking about last night and just getting pitches to hit. Goldie in the last 9 games has walked 14 times.
Part of the learning process.
Down the line.
Pitchers are constantly toying with their grip. You know, move your finger over one seam, hold it a little deeper in your hand, get it out more toward your fingertips. Obviously talking about a curveball there, the grip on a curveball. Get all 4 of those seams working for you, cutting through the air as you throw it toward home plate.
That's Jay Happ with a baseball in his hand. 2-2.
It's funny because especially with pitchers, I mean, they all trust their coaches, and pitching coaches are more like psychiatrists than coaches, really. But if you have a teammate, just like we saw right there, sitting there talking about the grip on the curveball, that's a guy that has been on the mound recently and has gone through it. He actually can tell you what happened when he tried to throw the curveball that way or when he changed his grip on the splitter. Always means more coming from a teammate.
JP Arencibia holds on to the foul tip. 3 up, 3 down against BUEHRLE. Diamondbacks trail at 3-0 after 1. Three hits, including a long home run by Rajai Davis, his second in as many games, and he is down 3-0 after 1. Leads into our AT&T Twitter poll question. Now that Randall has donned the eyewear for the ball games, your favorite player with glasses, you've got Spuds McKenzie, Chris Sabo, former Blue Jays great Tom Henke is another option as JP Arencibia looks at a strike, and of course K-Rod. So tweet your vote at Fox Sports Arizona.
K-Rod didn't have the glasses on, though, last time we saw him.
We noted that, yeah. He for a long time just had the full goggles. It was like he was going scuba diving or something. But Randall adopted these in Philadelphia 3 starts ago and was very effective. Helped him see a little bit better. Said he was having some difficulty picking up the signs with the shadows and whatnot, the lighting. And he has stuck with them. Arencibia 208 and 20 homers. Another power bat in this lineup, even without Joey or Jose Bautista. Joey bats, they are effective. In fact, we got word today that Jose Bautista has been shut down for the season. He's been out with a hip bone bruise. And no more Joey bats this year for John Gibbons. Hey, Joey bats, hey.
Hey, good about it.
1-2. Bouncer to short, Willie Bloomquist. Sounded like a broken bat. 1 away. Here's Anthony Gose.
Boy, how about these numbers, partner? The Blue Jays in the first and second inning in this series. 14 hits, 10 runs, and 7 extra base hits just in the first 2 innings.
It's funny. That's kind of been a recurring theme for the Diamondbacks all year. They've been spotting some runs early in games. Pitchers in early trouble. And you can imagine what the Blue Jays would be doing, and that's sort of what they drew up in the offseason if they were fully healthy with Jose Bautista, with Melky Cabrera, with Colby Rasmus, Josh Johnson, and Brandon Morrow, key pitchers that are on the DL. They have just taken a beating in terms of the health. Anthony Gose grounded out in his only at bat in the 9th inning last night. He had an RBI triple in Monday's series opener. One more time for Willie. Ghost gets up the line quickly, but Bloomquist throws in time. 2 up, 2 down. And here's Mark Burley.
Boy, with Reyes at the top, Goins runs well, Davis runs extremely well, and Ghost very nearly beat out a routine ground ball to shortstop right there.
Slowly hit. Burley 0 for 2 on the year. American League pitcher, doesn't hit a whole lot. And never did with the White Sox. 1 career home run in 14 years. Kind of just curves that one out to left. Prado's there, and it's 3 up, 3 down. Nice recovery inning there for Randall Delgado. We'll head to the home half of the second. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. The National League Player of the Month, Martin Prado, leads it off. Start the home half of the second inning, and Martin Prado leads it off against Mark Burley. Prado, Hill, Davidson 4, 5, and 6. And as we mentioned a moment ago, Martin Prado just a short time ago named National League Player of the Month. And if he had not won this award, I think we would have had to go out on strike or something. I mean, what a month it was. 28 games. He hit .374. 28 games, 43 hits, and 30 RBI. 30 RBIs, a club record in August, and the most by a Diamondback in a calendar month since Gonzo had 35 RBIs in June of 2001. This is the first time Martin has won a career monthly award. Congratulations to him. Encarnacion boots it at first, and Prado's aboard to lead it off.
Second baseman, number 2.
A lot of side English on that ball. Encarnacion, third baseman by trade, playing over there at first base. The ball just hits off the thumb of his glove with that side spin, gets into foul territory, and Martin Prado reaches on the E3. You know, looking at some of the other candidates for Player of the Month in the National League, a lot of guys had high averages, a lot of guys had a lot of hits, some guys hit a bunch of home runs, but he had almost twice as many RBI as any of the other candidates for National League Player of the Month.
Former Blue Jay Aaron Hill steps in. Some remarkable games. And a 4 for 5 game. 3 for 9 in that long 18-inning game at the Phillies. 4 consecutive multi-RBI games in the month. That tied a career high. A couple of 4-hit games. What a month, and what a turnaround. He scored 19 times. Two and 1 to Aaron Hill.
Barnhill 0 for 4 last night. He had the day off against his former team in Monday's series opener. High in the air, very short right. Goins going out. Sierra coming in, and he's under it for the first out here at the bottom of the second. Brings up Matt Davidson, getting the start at third base today.
Number 24, Matt Davidson.
Matt, 5 hits in 13 games in the big league so far. This is his 6th start with the D-backs this season. And no one certainly is giving up BB on a postseason spot for the Diamondbacks, but as the math gets more and more distressing, you do think about getting the opportunity to see Davidson and Owings and guys like that on a daily basis, just sort of get a glimpse or a sense of what the Diamondbacks have here down the road.
That's a very valuable time for the coaching staff and for Kirk Gibson to get a look at guys like Chris Owings and Matt Davidson. I mean, at this point in the year, you're pretty sure what Cliff Pennington's all about, what Didi Gregorius is all about, Willie Bloomquist. You know what those guys do.
Matt Davidson pulls it down the left field line. Prado is on the run. He'll head for third, and he will come on in. There's no relay, and Matt Davidson has his 3rd Major League RBI and his 1st career double. How's that for a sense?
I mean, it's one thing to look at the game reports from Reno every day and see what Matt Davidson and Chris Owings have been doing down there, but to actually get your eyes on a guy against some major league players and major league pitchers and see how they stack up, that's highly valuable going into next spring. Smoked that ball down into the left field corner. Rattled around out there in the triangle just long enough for Prado to come all the way around and score from first base. Rajai Davis's throw missed the first cutoff man, allowing Prado to come in and score without a play.
Miguel Montero. They stay away from Miggy with the first pitch. It misses for a ball. RBI number 3 for Matt Davidson. Good night from Miggy last night. A pair of hits, including his 10th home run. Look out. The bat goes into to the Toronto dugout. Everybody appears to be okay, thankfully. And Miggy will get a replacement. Good thing he worked on all those bats in the dugout the other night.
Yeah, we had a shot of him with a blade, getting some of the varnish rather off the handle of that bat. Now hitting that sticky stick on there, trying to make sure he doesn't lose it again.
A pair of hits and runs scored last night. 1-1. Hard down the line. That's a fair ball. Matt Davidson will score. Miggy takes the turn, and he will make it standing up. RBI double for Miguel Montero, his 13th, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
Encarnacion thought about making a diving attempt, realized he wasn't going to be able to get there. His error started this whole inning on that Martin Prado squibber right at him. Diamondbacks taking advantage of that leadoff error. A couple of doubles here back to back to pull within a run.
A pair of RBI doubles, and the tying run is at second with 1 out for Gerardo Parra. Mark Buehrle handed a 3-0 lead after half an inning. And the Diamondbacks are already back within 1. The tying run on second, 1 away. 1-0. Gerardo Parra, 270 and 10 homers. A pair of hits and runs scored last night, including his 10th home run. That one is rolled to short. Reyes has one play. Montero to third.
Anytime the D-back scores 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Number 48,
Randall Delgado. Reyes one more time. Maestran Montero on the bases, but the Diamondbacks answer with 2 RBI doubles by Davidson and Montero have made it a 3-2 ball game. Whole new ball game at Chase Field. It's 3-2 now as we get set for the 3rd inning. Randall Delgado, after spotting the Blue Jays 3 in the top of the 1st, has retired the last 4 he's faced, and he'll work to the top of the Toronto order. It'll be Jose Reyes, Ryan Goins, and Edwin Encarnacion here in the 3rd. Blue Jays got 3 in the 1st. Encarnacion an RBI double. Rajai Davis a 2-run homer. Diamondbacks have answered with 2 in the 2nd, RBI doubles by Matt Davidson and Miguel Montero. For Matt Davidson, his first career double. And so it's a 1-run Blue Jay lead as we start the 3rd.
Celebrities in the house today.
Oh, who we got?
We got Jose Reyes, we got Brett Lowry, and Kenny Powers.
Just don't use any Kenny Powers language.
Oh, please. Family show.
We're in trouble. Reyes singled and scored his first time up. Players love that show, the Kenny Powers thing. They love that whole act.
Well, that's because most ball players have played with somebody at some point in their career who was just like Kenny Powers.
Foul ground, 3rd base side. Davidson in front of the Diamondback dugout. He's got it for the first out here in the 3rd. Who was your Kenny Powers teammate?
Oh, I had a bunch of them. I won't mention any names just to save them the embarrassment.
I was going to say that's a delicate question.
Yeah, it's tough. We had one guy that was making his first career start against the Los Angeles Dodgers at Dodger Stadium for the San Francisco Giants. And when asked, "Are you nervous?" he said, "I've pitched this game 1,000 times in my mind." And went out and got knocked out in the 2nd inning.
Is that how it went?
I don't think that's the way it went in his dreams, but that's the way it went in reality.
Ryan Goins.
We had another guy that came over from the Philadelphia Phillies in a trade in spring training. And as often happens, he warmed up in the bullpen to come in the middle of a spring training game, and I went out to the mound and introduced myself. He said, "My name's George, but you can just call me the Heat." So I went back behind home plate. I figured, well, I'll hang down a 1. See what Heat's got here.
Okay.
He fires up an 87-mile-an-hour fastball that got hit in the bullpen. Well, okay, Heat.
So I should have called him lukewarm.
Yeah,
huh?
lukewarm probably would have been more appropriate.
There's the heat from Delgado. He's retired 6 in a row now, 2 down in the 3rd. Elevated with that fastball.
Boy, and he elevates way above the top of the strike zone, which I think is a key for Delgado. We talk all the time about how effective he is when he keeps the ball down there at knee level, both the fastball and the changeup. And when he wants to change that batter's eye level, he needs to make sure he gets it up above the top of the strike zone.
Especially with this guy, Edwin Encarnacion, an RBI double. He scored a run his first time up. Encarnacion at 280 on the year. He's hitting over 310 since the All-Star break. He's off that one, but Delgado gets the call from Hunter Wendelstedt, and it's 1-2. Encarnacion counting today, has 31 RBIs in his last 46 games.
Which is impressive in and of itself, but when you think about the patched together lineup that the Blue Jays are forced to run out there because of some injuries, that makes it even more remarkable.
It just had right from day one. It didn't work for John Gibbons. They had very high expectations and certainly high payroll after taking on so many players from Miami. Willie Bloomquist, the shift is on, and Edwin Encarnacion just deciding not to run that out. Little smirk from Willie, a nice play there, and Encarnacion gave him all kinds of time. Deep in the hole, and Bob, he's not even running.
Watched the play about halfway down the line and then broke it down completely. I guess he's so used to home run trots in this series, he didn't get down the line very much, and Jose Reyes, his teammate, gets on him a little bit. Hey, just a little more effort than that. He might have legged that out for an infield hit if he had given any effort at all.
And the Diamondbacks did have their Encarnacion shift in place, where they have 3 infielders on the left-hand side of the infield, and Willie had to make a tough play in the hole there, really. A near second base from the edge of the outfield grass, and had he been running, he might have beaten it out. And right to Edwin Encarnacion. Steve Sachs gets out of the way. That's the first out. This is the shift that they have been using all series long for Encarnacion, the rarity of the right-hand shift.
Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt, the lone defender on that right side of the infield, and when Bloomquist makes this play, goes down to the ground, had trouble finding the handle, ends up throwing a one-hopper across and got Encarnacion by a wide margin at first base.
Not exactly bringing the want. Here is Willie, who grounded out his first time, 0 for 1.
I guess he figures he's already done enough damage. Base hit for Bloomquist. Now 10 for 18 since his return from the DL a week ago today.
First baseman.
And 20 for 42 lifetime against Mark Buehrle. He just absolutely owns him.
Here's Goldie. Struck out his first time up to end the first. "12 games now since Goldie has homered, 59 plate appearances. And the thing you like to see is he's not really expanding his zone, not getting frustrated up there. Once or twice maybe, but he's kind of staying within himself and taking his walks.
Quick pickoff move to first base. Try to nab Willie Bloomquist over there. That's a big part of Buehrle's arsenal out there on the mound. 6 pickoffs this year. He's got 91 pickoffs going back to the 01 season. Now, since 2001, Mark Buehrle is all over the top of the leaderboards in every important pitching category. Grounded into double plays, quality starts, pickoffs, innings pitched, 3rd in wins, 4th in complete games.
And Andy Pettit's move is legendary, and Buehrle, as you can see, is right there with him. And Darren Oliver, who's on this staff as well.
Jamie Wright's a right-hander. The only right-hander on that list. How about that?
1-1 to Goldie. A reminder, fans, every time a Diamondbacks player hits a home run this year, Fulton Homes will donate $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Aaron Sebia and Buehrle. Got to be careful here in a 2-1 count. The thing that you talk about, BB, in all those stats with Buehrle, innings. Why do managers love, they call them innings eaters? Fans, it's something that fans tend to overlook because we look at wins and ERA and strikeouts and things like that. But innings.
Well, this is a season for the Diamondbacks. We know how important that is. When the starters have been knocked out early, we've seen Josh Colemencher come in and eat up a lot of innings. Will Harris has had to do the same. Chaz Rowe more recently. When that starter gets knocked out early, it really puts a strain on that bullpen, and Mark Buehrle is a bullpen saver.
Here's another walk to Goldie. He's now walked 15 times in his last 10 games. And the Diamondbacks have 2 on with 1 out for Martin Prado, the National League Player of the Month for August. He reached on an error and scored on Matt Davidson's RBI double back in the second. Bloomquist on second, Goldschmidt on first.
Since the 6th of August, that's the 29th walk for Paul Goldschmidt. A 5-walk lead over Joey Votto.
He's out. Wait a minute. He's out walking Votto?
And Chu and McCutchen and Ike Davis. Yeah, he's out walking everybody in the National League since August 6th. Just not getting anything to hit.
So much has been made about Joey Votto's insistence on strike zone discipline and not chasing pitches to try and drive in RBIs. And he's been given a lot of credit for that from the sabermetric community. Well, Votto, he's got his approach. He sticks with it. He's not going to lower that average, chase bad pitches. Even if they might need a run, he'll take the walk. So to outwalk Votto this year, of all years, that's something else. All right, my birthday wish is to meet Goldie. Her wish is to meet Adam Eaton.
See, if they were season ticket holders, they would have had early access to the ballpark and probably would have had a real good chance to meet both of those guys.
Well, what they should do is head over to Section 111, season ticket headquarters of the ballpark, and get some information on becoming season ticket holders for 2014. Prado strikes out, 2 down. Lots of benefits. As Bob mentioned, early access, early entry, special giveaways, autograph sessions, all kinds of reasons to become a Diamondback season ticket holder.
And that early access, I've said it every time we talk about season tickets for next year. For me, that's the big bonus, because when you get here early, the players are in a much more relaxed frame of mind. They don't have 1,000 people hanging over the railing looking for autographs. It's just a very select few people in the ballpark, and they're much more likely to take the time to come over and shake your hand, say hello, sign an autograph.
So visit dvax.com for tickets and look into season tickets for 2014, including our new flexible payment plan. We'll give you 12 months to pay for the tickets. You don't have to write a big check all at once.
You're certainly welcome to write a big check at once if you'd like, but
that's Brenly, B-R-E-N. Call for the batter's box suite right behind home plate. We saw D-Back Nation back there last night, all the D-Backs fans who were out there on the Twitter in their Sedona red. And we're here taking pictures long after the game ended yesterday. 0-2 to Aaron Hill. Early bounces that one. We also lock up, we just saw Goldie, we've seen Aaron Hill, 2 guys that had bobblehead days this year. You lock up your bobblehead, no waiting in line. Goldie bobblehead day, they were lined up down the block at noon out there in the heat. Guarantee your bobblehead. 2-2. Got the Cup of Coffee episode with Aaron Hill coming up. Debuts on Sunday. He shot at Chloe's Corner, a couple of blocks over from the ballpark. Right to LAWRIE at third. They go the short way for the force on Goldie, and that ends the inning. Diamondbacks get 2 on, 1 out, but BUEHRLE pitches out of it. It's 3-2 after 3. Express, presented by Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores, is headed to Chase Field September 29th. And fans, you can get on board. Just stop by the Fry's store in Cottonwood and enter to win 2 seats on the Fan Express bus. All the info you need is at FoxSportsArizona.com. Randall Delgado has retired the last 7 he's faced after a 3-run first. He'll face Brett Lawrie, Rajay Davis, and Moises Sierra. 4, 5, and 6 in the Toronto 4. Lawrie popped up his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Businessman special here this afternoon. Guy skipped out of work.
Sneaking out.
Where's
of work.
Bob? Where's Johnson? Isn't Johnson in that sales meeting?
Isn't anybody down in accounts payable?
That guy did not miss the sales meeting. the bat. I should be working, but it's my birthday.
Good for you.
Nice work. They ditched the ties. They came out to Chase Field. Nice job. 2-2.
Until their boss sees this.
Isn't that Johnson from Sales? Second strikeout for Randall Delgado. He's now set down the last 8 he's faced. This was Rajai Davis, however, his first at bat back in the first.
Yeah, not a bad pitch from Randall Delgado. It was over the middle of the plate, but it was down there around the knees. Just a better piece of hitting that time by Rajai Davis to go down and get it and golf it out of here to left field.
Well, it's been that kind of a series for Davis. Last night, struck out 4 times and homered. Rolls that one to Willie Bloomquist at short. Willie's had a busy day already. 2 up, 2 down in the fourth. Game face.
Right fielder.
Boy, is there anything cuter than a child that age belly laughing? Oh, man.
Moises Sierra grounded out his first time. Delgado has set down the last 9 in a row, 5 on ground ball out, so he's got that 2-seam sinking fastball working. Here, all ages out of the ballpark today. "51 pitches on the way for Randall." That's fouled back. Just whizzes by Delgado. Aaron Hill is there, and Randall Delgado has set down 10 in a row. We'll head to the home half of the fourth. It's a 3-2 ball game.
Diamondbacks baseball is brought to you in part by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Mazda, we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by Lone Butte Casino, you're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino.
3-2 ball game. We go to the bottom of the fourth here at Chase. Jody Jackson with you. Matt Davidson steps to the plate. Last at bat, he had his third career RBI. This is his second time up with the big club. He came up first, guys, in mid-August. And Kirk Gibson, with an honest assessment, he said he thought he started off slowly but made adjustments. And he said he had a conversation with Matt Davidson about what he feels is his God-given talent, and that is to hit the ball. Gibby said, you know, when I came up, I feel that running was my God-given talent and using that ability on the bases. And for Matt, he said that was a great conversation to have with his manager. He said he knows that hitting it is his calling card, but that in order to stay here, he has to do everything right, and that includes getting better on defense, something that he's been working on with Matt Williams.
Thank you, Jody. And BB, I know they've worked a lot, Matty has, with Matt on his footwork down there at third base.
He doesn't have bad hands. He's got a strong throwing arm, but occasionally his footwork will get a little bit out of whack, putting him in a bad position to make those throws. Boy, and it doesn't take much for a third baseman. Obviously, that's the longest throw you can make on the infield, and if you have an awkward arm angle or your feet aren't in the right position, you don't get that left shoulder pointed at your target. Very easy to make bad throws.
But you see right there, he can hit. And he can just crush some of those pitches down the left field line, like he did his first time up today with his first big league double. Drove in the Diamondback first run. Turns on those inside fastballs like that. Breaking ball for BUEHRLE.
A little bit of a leg kick. Nice hesitation there as he waited on that off-speed breaking ball. Unfortunately, just couldn't keep it fair down that third baseline.
Chased it away, and BUEHRLE gets the strikeout. That's his third of the ball game. One down here in the fourth.
Catcher, Miguel
Montero. Diamondbacks in the second had back-to-back RBI doubles. Davidson and Miggy. He had a big night last night, couple of hits, including his 10th home run. Don't forget, fans, come on out to the ballpark September 14th, the next big bobblehead giveaway. First 20,000 fans get the Miguel Montero bobblehead as he pulls that down the first baseline. Encarnacion to BUEHRLE covering. Two down. This is the Miggy bobblehead that's up in our broadcast booth right now. This is the only model in the ballpark. They're on their way, courtesy of Subway Restaurant. So make sure you get to the game early. A free D-back Street Festival presented by APS before the game. We'll have music, food trucks, Lucha Libre Wrestling. For tickets, call 602-462-4600 or log on to dbacks.com/tickets. And the key there, again, first 20,000 fans get the Miggy bobblehead. Guarantee your bobblehead. Don't want to run out on you. Become a season ticket holder.
Boy, Miggy's platform looks very
sir.
dressed up today.
Well, our highly unreliable staff started out red, and the aesthetic wasn't quite right, so we went back to the black bobblehead platform. We'll be building a more permanent structure in the offseason. We won't. He shakes his head and goes, no, walks away. Thanks for the support.
Mr. Reliability.
Yeah.
That looks like a Luis Gonzalez signature on the bill of that cap right there. I've seen that one before.
GOINS at second. And Mark BUEHRLE works a 1-2-3 fourth. We are through 4 at Chase Field. D-backs down 3-2. FoxSportsArizona.com has all the online local sports coverage you're looking for, like Jack's post-game analysis, alumni game highlights. And is Mendenhall the answer for the Cardinals' rushing attack? Well, he better be, because I drafted him this week. He's got a knee. I'm told he's good to go. I'm starting him in week 1. And there is Luis Gonzalez. Gonzo's birthday yesterday. Didn't see him around the ballpark, but he's here this afternoon. So read all about those items and more at FoxSportsArizona.com. Randall Delgado has retired the last 10 he has faced, 6 on ground ball out, so he's got that ground ball working, which is a key for him. He'll face J.P. Arencibia, Anthony Gose, and Mark Buehrle, 7, 8, 9 here in the Blue Jay 5th. Toronto with 3 in the first, including a 2-run homer by Rajai Davis, and the Davis home run has been the last Blue Jay base runner against Delgado. He's retired all 10 since. You're running out of time, by the way, to steal that truck.
We may just come back from this road trip and it'll be gone.
So will you.
Yeah. We'll have to get a shot of my driveway to get a picture of that beautiful Dodge Ram truck.
Ramtrucks.com pool area, pretty good looking as well. Good place to hang out and watch a ball game here Wednesday afternoon. Gonzo is out there. Nice block by Miggy in the dirt.
I mentioned it in last night's ball game. Since his stint on the disabled list, Miggy's done a much better job blocking the ball. That one came way up that time.
Maybe before that you might have just seen the glove out there a little bit.
Yeah, he just wasn't really getting down and in a good blocking position. It was almost like he was trying to pick balls cleanly out of the dirt, like you'd see an infielder try to do. Stood kind of straight up like he did on that last one, but on the last one that ball came up high.
Arencibia swings and misses at the 3-2 pitch. That's the 3rd strikeout for Delgado. 1 down here in the 5th.
Good change up that time.
You get a good example of how that pitch just kind of drops when it's working at its best right there. Batter's already out ahead of it, but then it just kind of falls off the table. Anthony Gose grounded to short his first time. Gose rejoined the Blue Jays in the middle of August. He's played in 17 games since his recall and hit just .208. Misses inside there, 1-1. That's a great hat. You know me, I'm kind of a uniform geek. I love uniforms and we're fashion forward broadcast. But when they went back to this look, oh, home run. That's a great. Is that the Brenly hat?
Yeah, I've got. We had an all blue cap we also wore on occasion, but yeah, I had the whatever they call it,
the white panel front.
Yeah,
Aaron Hill, 2 down. It's a classic Blue Jay look, and they had those awful uniforms recently, the kind of the denim look with black in the color scheme, and it just wasn't Blue Jay. It wasn't Exhibition Stadium, Otto Velez, Garth Orge, Blue Jay, Dave Stieb. And they did a great job of embracing who they are and their identity, and Blue Jay fans loved it. They started buying stuff off the shelves, and it's a relatively young baseball look compared to others, of course, but in its own way, it's a little bit of a classic for me.
See, that's the difference between you and me, partner. We took this shot, and you noticed the guy's hat.
Yeah.
I noticed the hot dog.
Well, it was, frankly, it was a little gross. So I just looked up at the hat. The key is he's keeping it out of the beard. Little roller to second. Aaron Hill one more time, and Randall Delgado has retired 13 in a row. Soup's on here at Chase Field. D-back for a day. Just purchased 2 28-ounce Gatorade or G2 thirst quenchers at participating Circle K locations for your chance to sign a one-day contract, have a press conference, attend batting practice, and more. Gatorade, win from within. Of course, you got your chance to, have a news conference, throw a fit, overturn a table, storm out of there.
That's a ridiculous question.
Yeah, get your money's worth. Pull a Hal McRae, just start throwing stuff off the desk. Randall Delgado. Delgado, Pollock, Bloomquist, 9-1-2 here in the fifth against Mark Buehrle. Randall grounded out his first time. And the Diamondbacks just trying to scratch some runs across. Did a good job answering Buehrle in the second when they got 2. That one is lifted to Sierra and right, 1 away. Because Buehrle lately has been outstanding. Last 4 starts, he'd given up just 4 runs. 3-0 over that span, including a win in his previous start. That was last Friday against the Royals. 7 shutout innings, a 4-hit ball, 5 strikeouts to get to 11-7. He's retired 6 in a row. Top of the order, A.J. Pollock. AJ has grounded out and popped up 0 for 2. Mark Buehrle, 12 years of the White Sox. He won 161 games in Chicago. 4-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves there. Finally, at the age of 33, cashed in with a big free agent deal. Got about $60 million from the Marlins. He was there 1 year and traded to Canada. He was not thrilled. Didn't like it. Said he was upset with how things turned out in Miami. He said, just like the fans in South Florida, I was lied to on multiple occasions. Marlins, with all their deals after last season ended up moving more than $146 million in future payroll, including the money owed to Mark Buehrle. Jose Reyes part of that deal as well. It's interesting, BB. I mean, fans, as we know in Miami, were upset, but the players had committed. Okay, I'm all in. I'm going to be a Marlin for 4 or 7 years, whatever it is. I'm moving to South Florida, buying a house, all that. Here comes LAWRIE. Can't handle it. Pollock's aboard. And the Marlins just moved all that money to kind of, hit the reset button, blew it up, and started over.
Now LAWRIE tries to make the barehanded play, just can't come up with it cleanly. Knew he had to hurry with A.J. Pollock running down that first base line. A.J. will be credited with an infield hit.
Here's Willie Bloomquist. Great numbers, as BB mentioned, against Mark Buehrle career. He singled his last time up. One thing to sign, all those years you're finally a free agent, you get the big bucks, and you're going to Miami, and all of a sudden you're in Canada. Brett LAWRIE, and he starts the 5-4-3. There's some Blue Jay defense for you, and Brett LAWRIE, who's had an outstanding series defensively, continues as such, and that ends the threat. Brett LAWRIE from Langley, British Columbia, ends the fifth. It's still a 3-2 ball game. Randall Delgado gave up 3 in the first, but has settled down and retired the last 13 he has faced. 8 of those outs coming on ground balls. Mix in the occasional strikeout, and Randall Delgado has settled down nicely. In fact, he's been perfect since there were 2 outs in the first, and now Reyes leads off the 6th. He's retired the last 13. Reyes, Goins, Encarnacion, top of the order here for the Blue Jays. And there's another ground ball. Bloomquist charges, has to hurry. Reyes beats it out. Hit very, very slowly to shallow short.
Second baseman.
Really didn't have a whole lot of time.
Yeah, really the only chance the D-backs had defensively there was if Matt Davidson could have cut across from his third base position and gotten to that ball, but once it got by him, very tough for Bloomquist to get the speedy Reyes at first base.
Reyes aboard. Here's Ryan Goins. Just the 4th hit for the Blue Jays, and their first since Davis's home run in the first. Here's the strike, 0-1. Reyes 13 stolen bases on the year, including 1 last night. Goins only 11 big league games under his belt. He singled and scored a run in Monday's series opener. Played over 110 games at AAA Buffalo this year. Hit .257 with 6 homers. Reyes holds it first. Goins fouls it off. And this will be something for Randall here, who has been in a nice rhythm certainly since the end of that first. Pitching from the windup and rolling along, getting a lot of ground ball outs, an occasional strikeout. Now Reyes is on first to lead off the 6th. Mentioned that Jose Bautista had been shut down for the season with a hip bone bruise, and there he is in the Blue Jay dugout. Hey, Joy Bats. See if they can turn 2. Hill, Bloomquist, Goldschmidt, double play. They erase the Reyes single, 2 down.
Turnabout is fair play. The Diamondbacks have grounded into more than their share of double plays in this series. Aaron Hill, Willie Bloomquist turned that one nicely.
And the shift is on for Edwin Encarnacion, who has hit an RBI double and scored a run. He's also grounded out. Three infielders on the left-hand side. This isn't cricket.
That's what happens when you convince yourself as a hitter, I'm going to get a fastball right here, and I'm going to get ready and see if I can hit it over Friday's Front Row Sports Grill. And he throws you a breaking ball.
That was a wicked googly.
Whoops.
1-1. There's the strike, 2-2. Encarnacion, a career high 42 homers last season and threatening that mark this year. He's at 36. Bring him up and sit him down. 4th strikeout for Randall Delgado. He gets a double play ball and a strikeout, and he ends the 6th. It's still a 1-run ball game. Backs trailing 3-2. Goldie, Prado, Hill 3, 4, and 5 against Mark BUEHRLE. There's the strike, 0-1. Goldie has struck out and walked. Each team with 4 hits. Blue Jays got 3 in the first against Delgado. Encarnacion an RBI double. Davis a 2-run homer. Diamondbacks answered in the home half of the second. Back-to-back RBI doubles by Davidson and Montero. Ladies' night at the ballpark. Blue Jays well represented, of course. I got one for you. I've always heard a criticism of not Blue Jay fans, but Canadian sports fans. And sometimes we Americans say they're too polite. Did you find that to be the case? They often don't have the same vitriol that American fans do, or they don't get quite as into it.
I'd say that's an accurate statement, although I don't view it as a negative.
Right. Especially if you hit it 190.
Yeah. I was thankful for that attitude from the Blue Jays fans in 1989.
One and two.
My half season in Toronto, we started the year at Old Exhibition Stadium, which was just a miserable venue for baseball, and then moved into what was then the Sky Dome, or just Sky Dome. At the time, absolutely state-of-the-art ballpark and filled to the rafters every night. Had a great time.
Encarnacion makes a nice running catch in foul ground, and they retire Goldie. Yeah, that was quite the spectacle when that ballpark opened.
A retractable roof, and had a hotel in the ballpark, which created some embarrassing moments for some couples.
Close the curtains, please.
But yeah, I mean, it had everything. And you know, baseball clubhouses have really evolved over the years. From it used to just be a nail in the wall and you hang your shirt on it. And man, I mean, this place was a palace. Marble countertops. Every locker had its own little monitor. You could watch movies in your locker to kill some time in the afternoon. Had the underground batting cages, all the things that are kind of standard now in the newer ballparks, but it was state of the art then. Right downtown Toronto. Lived in a high-rise apartment not 2 blocks away from the ballpark. I could walk to and from the yard every day. It was great. I just didn't play very well. Minor detail.
Martin Prado, who earlier today was named National League Player of the Month for August. Prado has reached on an error and scored a run and struck out. Exhibition Stadium. Back, talk about Otto Velez. Holy cow. Doug Alt.
Yeah.
Some of those original Blue Jays.
It was an old AstroTurf field that was obviously a multi-purpose stadium used for a lot of different sports.
LAWRIE at third.
And it was crowned, if you can picture a football field running from the third base line straight out to right field, and crowned appropriately to allow the water to drain off the field. Well, then from home plate, you could hit a ground ball through the hole at first and second right at the right fielder, and it would roll all the way into foul territory.
So you're hitting it uphill, essentially, if it's on the ground.
Depending on where you're at on the field, you're either throwing uphill or downhill. It was just a bizarre place to play baseball.
And I remember they had left field seats, but it was open for football, so right field just sort of had this fence in the middle of the open ground.
And I saw Fred McGriff hit some home runs that just disappeared into the blackness because there was nothing out there. Once the ball cleared the lights in the outfield, it just disappeared. It went out into space somewhere, and Fred McGriff could hit him into space.
Cup of coffee with Aaron Hill coming up, the debut episode on Sunday here on Fox Sports Arizona. Our thanks to Aaron and all the folks at Chloe's Corner in downtown Phoenix who do a great job helping us shoot those episodes. I remember growing up watching the Red Sox, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, is George Bell storming the mound at Bruce Keeson.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out feet first. That was something. Aaron Hill strikes out. That ends the 6th. We head to the 7th. Diamondbacks trail at 3-2. Favorite player with glasses. Well, of course, Randall Delgado wins with almost half the votes.
That was an easy one.
Although I remember when they called Chris Sabo Spuds McKenzie because he looked like the dog from the advertisement.
Yeah. And there were some other ball players that featured glasses during their playing career that we left off that list. Of course, can't put everybody up there, but Dick Allen, former White Sox great. Eric Gagne. Kevin Gregg, the closer for the Cubs right now. Jose Valverde. The big potato.
Papa Grande.
And, of course, Reggie Jackson.
Reginald Martinez Jackson. The straw that stirs the drink. I was looking up some exhibition stadium stuff during the break. It was actually sadly demolished in 1999.
Darn.
It's no longer there. You'll have to look up old video clips.
So then after they blow up Candlestick Park, my 2 home ballparks will be gone.
They played the great football championship in the Canadian League, of course, is the Grey Cup, which is a fascinating history to the Grey Cup. It's actually been around twice as long as the Super Bowl. They played over 100 Grey Cups, which is stunning. But in 1970, they played the 58th Grey Cup there. Now, this is way back in 1970. And the Calgary Stampeders were playing in that game. Their coach referred to the stadium then in 1970 as a disgrace. And you were playing on it decades later, playing baseball.
Almost 20 years later. Yes. And it did not age well.
Well, the other problem is, and it's pointed out, was it was created for football, and the Argos played there for a long time. The issue was that you got to remember the Canadian football have bigger fields. It's 30 yards longer. Those wide. There's a 55-yard line in Canadian football, and they have long, wide end zones. And so when you're building a stadium like that for football, you're building it much bigger than you would for American football, and that just makes everything even more distant and weird in terms of the geography and the infrastructure.
And for the fans at Exhibition Stadium, all the seats were, obviously were built to watch a football game. So if you happen to be sitting down the right or left field line, you were actually facing straight out towards center field and had to look over one shoulder or the other to look back to home plate.
Well, I remember that happened in the Metrodome. In downtown Minneapolis, it was built for football, and you could sit. I used to go to a lot of games there one summer. And you would sit behind the third base dugout, and you would face dead center field, and you would have to literally turn over your right shoulder almost completely backward. It's like someone behind you was speaking to you and you turned around. You had to watch the game that way. But because of the weird shape of Exhibition Stadium, it's shaped kind of like a horseshoe. A lot of the seats down the right field line, right center, very far from the field. In fact, they measured some seats at Old Exhibition Stadium 820 feet away from home plate.
Wow.
Which at that time was, and hopefully still is, the farthest such distance of any stadium ever used as a principal home field in the Major League. So it was quite an issue. Had some games snowed out there April 7th, 1977. Right on Lake Ontario, all kinds of weather issues. There's the strikeout for Randall Delgado. That's 5, 2 down in the 7th. Boy, he is rolling along. He's given up only one single since the first inning. And that was the infield single that Reyes beat out.
I tell you, obviously the Blue Jays are trying to do everything they can to break through against Delgado early in the ball game, but he wasn't making poor pitches in that first inning. They just took advantage of every strike that he threw. They bunched together some hits. Davis hit the home run, and before he knew it, he was looking at a 3-0 deficit, but he didn't really pitch poorly in that first inning.
I got one more Exhibition Stadium thing, and I only mention this because we're going to San Francisco after the plane is leaving right after the ball game. That is, of course, Exhibition Stadium 1983, where Dave Winfield was arrested for hitting a seagull with a baseball.
Yep.
And they came and they got him. The seagull. Dave had just finished his warm-up throws in the 5th inning. Threw a ball to the ball boy, and it hit a seagull in the head, and the poor bird perished. And they came and got him.
Well, it's not out of the question that we could see that happen in San Francisco, the way those seagulls come flocking in there at the end of the ball game.
Oof, that's dangerous. Of course, when Dave threw the ball and hit the seagull, Billy Martin said it was the first time all year he's hit the cutoff man. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the seagulls in San Francisco. Remember we had one fly by the booth with a fish in its talons? It's one of those nature shows. There's the strikeout. That's 6 for Randall Delgado, and he is rolling along. He just needs another run or two. It's 3-2 as we head to the home half of the 7th. As soon as this one is done, head to San Francisco, where it's Trevor Cahill tomorrow against the Giants' Ryan Vogelsong. Opener of a 4-game set. We'll have it for you on Fox Sports Arizona. Matt Davidson leads off the 7th. Bullpen phone ringing for the Diamondbacks. Hey, I should be working, but it's my birthday, so I'm out of here.
Hey, before the D-backs score a couple of runs here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, we want to congratulate a couple of the minor league managers. Andy Green, the Mobile Bay Bears Southern League Manager of the Year, and also congratulations to Mark Haley, South Bend Silverhawks Midwest League Manager of the Year. And the playoffs are starting down there in the minor leagues for 3 of the affiliates. Mobile Bay Bears will start their best-of-5 quarterfinal series against Mississippi tomorrow night, with Archie Bradley taking the mound. Won his last 6 games of the season. Visalia begins a best-of-3 quarterfinal series against Modesto tonight, and South Bend starts their best-of-3 series against Great Lakes tonight. So good luck to all the affiliates. Bring home some trophies.
3-2 to Davidson. Burley misses inside. Leadoff man aboard for the D-backs here in the 7th. The Modesto Nuts. It's one of the better names around.
And South Bend playing against the Great Lakes Loons, if I'm not mistaken.
Do they do those loon calls at the games that Garrison Keeler is always doing?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
And we'll have a pinch runner now for Matt Davidson. Tony Campana aboard at first. And he's the tying run with nobody out. Miguel Montero, RBI double. In the 2nd, he grounded out in the 4th, 1 for 2. High in the air, third base side. Lawrie's got room. 1 away. Brings up Gerardo Parra.
Right field, Gerardo Parra.
We've seen this happen a number of times, Bob, where Campana or somebody comes in to pinch run and they just kind of stay put at first.
Well, that first delivery there to Miguel Montero, Burley using that quick slide step to home plate. Campana just couldn't get any jump at all over there at first base. And we talked about it earlier, 6 pickoffs this season. Number 1 in all of the majors if you go all the way back to the 2001 season.
Delgado's night will end here. Eric Chavez is on deck, and he would hit for Delgado. Burley now at 100 pitches, 61 for strikes. Parra 0 for 2. He is twice grounded out. And Gerardo hitting 206 versus lefties. Is he going to look inside the bullpen? Joe Thatcher warming up. 206 for Parra versus lefties. About a 90-point drop from his average against right-hand pitching. Campana holds. Parra rolls it foul up the first base line. Gerardo Parra has it in 4 straight games, 1 for 4 last night. He has hit 233 since the All-Star break. Oh, 1. There is some stirring in the Blue Jays bullpen. Oh, it's got to be tough to read that move.
I mean, it's one thing to have a good pickoff move to first base, but what really sets Burley apart is he's so quick to home plate. Even if you guess right, it's going to be a foot race with that throw from the catcher. Just because Burley unloads it so quickly.
Campana holds. Parr lines it into center for a base hit. Tony Campana hits for third. First and third, one out for the Diamondbacks. Tying run 90 feet away.
Didn't exactly square it up, but he got enough of it to muscle it out there into shallow center field, which is probably a good thing because the ball was hit so softly. Tony Campana is easily able to advance first to third. Had that ball been hit out there on a line, he probably has to stop at second.
Chavez just announced as the hitter, and John Gibbons is going to go get his lefty. And that'll be it for Burley after 102 pitches, 63 for strikes. He's responsible for 2 base runners as he leaves with a 3-2 lead. Pitching change at Chase Field. We'll take a break. Performances by the starting pitchers, Mark Burley and Randall Delgado. Delgado, after giving up 3 in the first, retired 18 of the last 19 he faced. The Jose Reyes infield single in the 6th was the only base runner against Delgado after the first inning. So Sergio Santos inherits trouble here. First and third, one out, tying run 90 feet away, and Santos may be just the man for the job here. He has stranded all 11 runners he's inherited this year. And work to Eric Chavez, who will hit for Delgado. High in the air to right. Sierra. Campana at third. And here we go. The throw is not in time, and the Diamondbacks tie the game. Here off the hook, Randall, it's 3-3. Eric Chavez delivers the tying run.
Nicely done. Eric Chavez just looking for something he can get in the air to the outfield, and that time deep enough to allow Tony Campana to slide across with the tying run. I was watching Gerardo Parra down there at first base. The throw wasn't really high enough to get a good read whether it was over the cutoff man or not, so Parra could not advance.
He stays put at first. Now 2 outs. Top of the order up, it's A.J. Pollock. He singled his last time up, 1 for 3. A.J. 1 for 4 with a single in last night's game. He walked in a pinch hit appearance Monday. Parra bluffs, nothing doing. Blue Jays took a 3-0 lead in the first. RBI double by Encarnacion, 2-run homer by Davis. After that, Delgado retired 18 of the next 19 he faced. Diamondbacks answered with 2 in the second. RBI doubles by Davidson and Montero. And they've tied it here on the Chavez sac fly. Parra takes off. The throw from Arancibia is not in time. Gerardo Parra, that's his 10th stolen base. He's now at 50% on the year, 10 for 20.
That evens him up for the season, 10-10. Didn't get a great jump over there at first base, but just kind of outran that throw that short hops. Goins out there at second base. He can't come up with it. Parra with the slide to the outside part of the bag, in there safely.
So right after the pitch out, Parra is off. He steals the base in scoring position now. 1-2 on Pollock. AJ tied with the Rockies' Nolan Arenado, 25 doubles. That is tops among all Major League rookies. Sergio Santos has allowed 1 run to score. The other run he inherited is standing at second. 1-2. Takes away from Arancibia, and Parra has third.
Ball just took a bad hop on Arancibia. He's in perfect blocking position. It hits him on the left shoulder and shoots over toward that first base on deck circle, allowing Parra to easily advance onto third base. About one more.
Randall Delgado no longer on the hook for the loss. He could be in position for the win if they can deliver Parra from third here. 2-2. And the bat goes in the Diamondback dugout as Pollock strikes out, and they strand Parra at third, but the D-backs get the tying run across. Tony Campana head first on the Chavez sac fly. It's 3-3 through 7.
By your local Valley Kia retailers. Visit phxkia.com. And by Jack in the Box. Go big at a participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos for only $3.99 plus tax. And by Ram Trucks, proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
8th inning, new ball game. It's all tied. And the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks is David Hernandez, on for the 50th time this year. J.P. Arancibia, the catcher, leads off the 8th. Arancibia goes at the pitcher's spot for Toronto. Eric Chavez in at third. And he is quickly introduced to the ball game there. He drove in the tying run with a sac fly. He stays in the game, and he'll take over at third for Matt Davidson.
That's the way it usually goes. A new guy comes into the game defensively, and the first pitch is hit right to him. Not an easy play for Chavez. A little grin on his face there, but fortunately Aaron Sebia was very slow getting out of that right-handed batter's box. Turned it into an easy out at first.
There's Matt Davidson in that boy band hair. Kind of sort of floof it after the helmet and everything. And David Hernandez has a quick out. Just recalled from AAA Reno on September 1st. He'll work to Anthony Gose, who was 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. David Hernandez, while he was with Reno, appeared in 9 games for the Aces and pitched well. Gave up only 1 earned run in 9 2/3. Had 2 saves. Chance for David to go down there, kind of hit the reset button, come back up and have a productive September. And he's ahead here, 1-2. He did not go, says Greg Gibson, the crew chief at third. Munenori Kawasaki is on deck. He would hit for the pitcher. Chopped is short. Bloomquist. Rose gets up the line quickly. Close play, but they get the out in time. 2 down. Pair of ground ball outs for Hernandez, and here comes Munenori Kawasaki.
First look we've had at Kawasaki on the field in this series. We've seen him in the dugout every day, giving some head massages and neck massages to some of his teammates over there.
His antics have become somewhat legendary. He played 61 games with Seattle last year and hit under 200. And he's an entertaining guy, but often more entertaining off the field than on. Yeah, there's Moises Sierra. He gets the pregame neck rub.
Yeah.
This is inside. This is has become the pregame ritual here.
Yeah, finding those pressure points, releasing some of the tension in the back of the neck.
I like to, whatever would happen if Kawasaki was teammates with Adrian Beltre, who doesn't like his head touched.
Don't touch my head.
He's got a whole routine going there. Play some Yanni in the background, light some candles.
Mm-hmm.
Hernandez behind 2-0. There's a strike. And then when they're done,
that's how his neck got stiff in the first place.
No one else seemed to be paying attention. Perhaps they're used to it. 2-2. Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 8th. They'll have 2, 3, and 4. Bloomquist, Goldschmidt, and Prado. Harris from the right side. Thatcher from the left in the bullpen. Reyes, the switch hitter, is on deck. Needs a little more stick 'em. Ring him up and sit him down. There's the strikeout for Hernandez, who works a 1-2-3-8. Home half coming up. David Hernandez, 2 ground balls and a strikeout. Bloomquist, Goldschmidt, and Prado when we come back.
Cinco by signing up at one of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
Well, you might recall earlier this year we saw J.J. Putz consoling David Hernandez after another rough outing, and the conversations continue. This time David is all smiles, and why not? 2 ground balls and a big strikeout.
He just seems to be much more consistent with his release point since coming back from Reno. He was a little scatter-armed earlier in the season. Still had real good stuff, just didn't have great command, but has looked really good since coming back.
Steve Delabar on to work the 8th for the Blue Jays. The big right-hander. He has not pitched well since the All-Star break. He's got an ERA in the second half, almost 8.5. Opponents hitting .333 against him. Bloomquist, Goldschmidt, Prado, 2, 3, and 4. Willie so far 1 for 3. He singled in the 3rd. Well, it's getaway day, so it's tied up late. You know one thing, you're going to get an exciting finish. Can't tell you when, but it will be exciting. Might be another 10 innings.
Yep. Plane sitting on the tarmac waiting. Bus is outside the clubhouse waiting.
2-1. And this has been one of the recurrent themes of this season so far, with the, as Bob mentioned, with plane waiting on these getaway days. The Diamondbacks have played extra innings 9 times. The amazing thing, in those games, they are 9-0.
That's amazing. Just truly amazing.
We're not quite there yet, bottom of the 8th, but we've seen this movie before. 3-2. Diamondbacks got the lead man on in the 7th when Matt Davidson walked. Tony Campana came in a pinch run and wound up scoring the tying run on the Chavez sacrifice fly. See if Willie can get aboard here to open the 8th. Willie 10 for 19 since his return from the DL 1 week ago today. Missed over 50 games with that broken hand. That's after he missed the first 54 games this year with that oblique injury. 3-2. Base hit. Bloomquist starts it off in the 8th. He's 2 for 4.
Talked about it in last night's ball game. So many of Willie's hits are just like this, right back up the middle of the field. It's like he's using that runway between the mound and home plate as a guide where he wants to hit the ball.
Well, 11 for 20 since he came off the DL. And here's Goldie. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. See if he gets anything to hit here. There's the strike, 0-1. Goldie at 292. He is hitting under 250 since the All-Star break. Clutch. Two. Delabar gets the strike. He's just been back from injury himself, mentioning everything that Willie has gone through. Delabar activated from rehab on September 1st. He was out with right shoulder inflammation. He's ahead 1-2. Arencibia does a nice job of keeping Bloomquist at first there.
Change up in the dirt that time. Arencibia, I think, got a little bit lucky this time. That ball hit way out there, hit off the webbing of his glove, then he kicked it over toward the first base line, but not far enough away for Willie to advance.
2-2 to Goldie. Bloomquist, go ahead, run it first, nobody out. Lays off that one upstairs, and once again he has come from behind to work a full count. It is remarkable how often we've seen this.
And so far, Delabar has not shown any command of anything other than that fastball. And assuming Paul Goldschmidt's going to get a fastball, it's going to be away.
See where Arencibia sets up. Here goes Bloomquist, swings through, the throw is offline. No, it isn't. They got the glove down in the tag. Ryan Goins managed to corral that throw from Arencibia, which was on the right field side of the bag, and still get the tag on Willie. And that's a big strike him out, throw him out.
Boy, went with a changeup on the 3-2 pitch. That throw was really tailing, but what a huge break for the Blue Jays. It tails right into the sliding Willie Bloomquist. Nice play by Goins right there just to get to that ball.
And a very good call by Mark Ripperger at second. Willie a little upset with himself. So quickly, 2 outs. Here's Prado. Earlier today, named National League Player of the Month. But so far today, he is 0 for 3. He did reach on an error in the second and scored a run. Came into the Matt Davidson RBI. First major league double from Matt. So Prado looking for a hit here. These are the numbers for Mr. August, National League Player of the Month. He is hit in 10 games in a row, so a 10-game hit streak perhaps on the line right here. Right at Reyes. Plenty of time. So the Diamondbacks get the leadoff man on to open the 8th. It goes for naught, and we'll head to the 9th, all tied up. Spectacular HD with MLB.tv. Watch every out-of-market game live on over 350 supported mobile devices. Just visit MLB.tv today. It's baseball everywhere. Set for the 9th in a 3-3 ball game at Chase Field. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks. What else is new? Here he is. It's Brad Ziegler. He leads National League relievers in wins with 8. He's got an ERA under 2.5 on for the 68th time this year.
There right now to save the tie, and hopefully if his team can find a way to break through and score a run in the bottom of the 9th inning, maybe pick up another victory.
He's got a knack for it, that's for sure. First he'll have to get through the top of the Toronto order. Reyes, Goins, Encarnacion, 1, 2, and 3. Reyes, a pair of singles. He scored the game's first run back in the first. There's a strike. 1-1. Brad Ziegler rolling along here. Last 22 games, he's got an ERA of 1.93. 4-0 over that span. Driven to right, Gerardo Parra. In front of the track, he's got it, 1 out. Reyes 2 for 4. Here's Goins.
That's a big first out anytime. Obviously, late in a tie ball game, that first out of the inning is big. But with Reyes' speed, you just don't want him on base creating havoc.
Goins is 0 for 3. He has struck out and hit into a double play. Carves that one into the left field seats. 0-1. Well, that was a heck of a play that Goins made to get that tag on Willie. Very athletic. You can tell he's a guy they like, a converted shortstop, and he saw some of the athleticism there.
Talk all the time about the body control that it takes for those guys in the middle infield to get themselves into a position to make a play, focus on the throw, catch the throw as he takes a called third strike right there. Apply a tag, and it just all flows seamlessly. It's just like it's a one long extended play. One thing runs right into the other, just as smooth as it can be.
See Didi make those types of plays all the time. The athleticism just sort of flows. Jansen from the right side, Perez from the left in the Blue Jay bullpen, and here comes trouble. Edwin Encarnacion, 1 for 3, an RBI double. He scored a run in the first. Hitting over 310 since the All-Star break. Drives that one to center field. A.J. Pollock tracks it down in the corner. And A.J. is there for the final out in the ninth. Whew. Everybody exhale. We'll head to the bottom of the ninth now. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Coming up for the Diamondbacks. Hill, the pitcher spot. And Miguel Montero, bottom 9. It's 3-3.
So I mean that's fun. We'll take a win anyway. We've had some memorable getaway days, some long ones. Hopefully, you never know. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? So you just go out there and play, and like I said, hopefully get a win. And if it's a walk off and we all got to get dirty, then that's fine as well.
Well, we're all set forward. Bottom 9, 3-3. Aaron Hill, the pitcher spot, and Miguel Montero. Chris Owings is out on deck. He will apparently hit for the pitcher as Aaron Hill leads off the 9th with a strike. Saw Chris make his major league debut in last night's ball game. Grounded out. Aaron Hill 0 for 3. Steve Delabar back out there for a second inning of work. Josh Colementor study. Checking the matchups.
Reason for optimism, partner. Only the Houston Astros in the American League give up more home runs out of their bullpen than the Toronto Blue Jays. Astros have surrendered 77 relief home runs. The Blue Jays 54.
Well, no team in baseball has more walk-off wins than the Arizona Diamondbacks. So this is a dream matchup for D-backs fans. Willie struck out in the 8th on that striking out throw out, so we'll have to come back to him. Hopefully we won't need to. Won't get that far. 1-2 to Aaron Hill. Aaron, since the All-Star break, hitting about .320 and slugging over .500. There is Chris Owings. He'll hit for the pitcher. Pitcher's spot is due up next after the double switch. Chavez came in a pinch hit and just stayed in the game. 2-2. There's the strikeout. One away here in the 9th.
I mentioned Delabar in that last inning of work really wasn't commanding anything other than his fastball, but he seemed to have found a release point here. Good changeup that time to get a swinging strike 3 from Aaron Hill.
Well, no better time for your first major league hit than the 9th inning of a tie ball game. And here is Chris Owings, who, as a member of the Reno Aces this year, was named Pacific Coast League MVP and Rookie of the Year. He grounded out in his first big league at bat last night. So go round number 2 right here for Chris. Chris had a tremendous year at Reno. He was second among all minor leaguers in hits. He had 180 hits, 7th in runs scored. Second straight year the D-backs have had the PCL MVP after Adam Eaton won the award last year.
Now, speaking of Adam Eaton, he's available off the bench, a left-handed bat along with Didi Gregorius and the switch-hitting Cliff Pennington. But Kirk Gibson showing some confidence in the youngster Chris Owings, sending him up there in a key situation here late in a tie game.
2-1. One knock on Chris Owings over the course of his minor league career so far is he is a huge WW.
Yeah, he likes to swing that bat.
He is a very aggressive swinger up there and just does not walk. Rolls that one a second, right at Goins. 2 outs. Well, we'll see if your watches are set to Miggy time. This was Miguel Montero last night. His 10th, high, deep, and gone to right center.
We got a pitch up and out over the plate. Pulled it back to right center field. That ball just kept carrying and eventually ended up way out of here to right center.
John Gibbons reminding Delabar of that. Got to be careful with this guy. He can end it in one swing, and that's it for Delabar. We take a break here. Pitching change. Bottom 9, 2 out. rehab. This is the left-hander Luis Perez, activated just yesterday, in fact. 72 games in his career. He was out for 60 days after a left elbow injury. He's back in there to face Miguel Montero with 2 outs and a tie game in the 9th.
Fastball, changeup, slider combination from Luis Perez.
And here comes Miguel Montero, who today is 1 for 3, had an RBI double in the 2nd.
Catcher, Miguel Montero.
3-3, 2 outs, bottom 9 at Chase Field. Sebia sets up away. Perez misses 1-0. Iggy 333 in his 6th game since returning from the DL last Monday. Big swing and a miss. 1-1. Montero 0 for his last 19 versus left-hand pitchers.
So he is definitely due.
Going away again here. Took something off, 1-2. Sebia holds on, and there's the strikeout. And on getaway day, we will play extra innings for the 10th time this year. It's 3-3. Are presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side, feed it. Well, that's been the greatest investment in television history.
I'm telling you what, whoever came up with that idea is going to get a promotion.
Salesman of the year. Well, 1-2-3-8 for David Hernandez, a 1-2-3-9 for Brad Ziegler, and on to pitch the 10th is Will Harris, the right-hander. He's held opponents scoreless in 9 of his last 11 games, and Will has been outstanding all summer long since May 22nd. His last 45 appearances, he has pitched to an ERA of 1.85. It worked Brett Lord to lead off the Toronto 10th. Lawrie, Davis, Sierra 4, 5, and 6. Brett Lawrie so far 0 for 3. Harris jumps ahead 0-1. LAWRIE hitting just under .330 since August 1st. He has raised his average for the year from .209 up to .255 going into the ball game. He missed a lot of this summer with a bad ankle sprain and had to sit out 41 games. Since he's come back, he has been all about the offense and some tremendous defensive plays in this series. Base hit. LAWRIE 1 for 4, leadoff man aboard for the Blue Jays here in the 10th.
Yeah, this curveball that just didn't really bite like he wanted it to, just kind of spun up there belt high in the middle of the plate, and LAWRIE just hammers it through that left side of the infield.
Rajai Davis 1 for 3, hit a long home run, a 2-run shot back in the first. Throws bunt, corners crash, fouls that off. This was Rajai Davis after homering last night in the first inning this afternoon.
In extra innings here today, tried to put down a sac bunt. He's got 1 sacrifice bunt this season. Blue Jays rank in the lower middle of the pack in the American League in sacrifice bunts.
Not a lot of call for that kind of thing in the American League East. Station to station.
Especially when the Blue Jays are healthy and have all their thumpers in the lineup. You're not going to see John Gibbons give up too many outs moving runners up when the next guy could possibly hit one in the upper deck.
That's in front of the plate. Hunter Wendelstedt waving it off. Hear that chopping sound.
It's determined fair or foul depending on where the ball is when Miguel Montero makes contact with it. He tried to come out of the chute and get that ball in fair territory, but even though his body was out in front of home plate, he had to reach back to catch the ball, and Hunter Wendelstedt determined that when he touched the ball, it was actually in foul territory. And just as a confirmation, third base umpire Greg Gibson looked into Hunter Wendelstedt and nodded his head. Yeah, you got it right.
1-2. Greg Gibson is the crew chief down at third. Had to play it last night. Rajai Davis came into this series with 2 home runs all year, but he's hit 2 in the series. And they weren't cheapies. Brett LAWRIE 7 stolen bases. He's been caught 4 times. Had a stolen base last night. Hunter holds, foul back. Davis hitting under .230 since the All-Star break. There's a shot at Luis Rivera, former Red Sox great, coaching at third.
National League fans may be familiar with Rajai Davis's name. He came up with the Pittsburgh Pirates back in the '06 season. Played a couple years for them, a couple years for the Giants before being traded to Oakland, and has been in the American League ever since.
Kind of surprised we forgot to put Luis Rivera on our list of favorite players who wore glasses. Well, we used to have the glasses down at short in his day with the Red Sox. Dropped it in there for a strike. Davis slowly gives way, 1 out.
Hunter Wendelstedt is an umpire that will call the high breaking ball. Not very many umpires in the major leagues do, but Hunter Wendelstedt will call that pitch up there at the top of the strike zone, maybe even a little higher from time to time.
It's funny, that's Will's other pitch. He'll Throw that little curveball about 25% of the time or so. Adam Lind, who homered last night, and a line drive shot to right, is in the on-deck circle. And this guy's got power, as we saw, so you got to watch out. This was Adam Lind last night.
Yeah, really the only cheap home run they've hit in this series. Not that it was cheap, but it hit the top of the fence and then bounces on out off the back wall. Came right back to Gerardo Parra, but Lind properly given credit for a home run there.
Pinch hit homer in the ninth is 17 to the year. He's in there at 284. Brett LAWRIE at first with one out. June 16th, Adam Lind was sitting .350. Had a big May and a big June, but since the middle of June, he has hit under .230 for the year. The averages have gone down. And this is a guy that put up some big home run numbers at 35 in 09, 23 in 2010, 26 2 years ago. 1-1. LAWRIE holding in first. That one's fouled away.
How about this, partner? This is the 70th extra inning pitched by the Diamondbacks this year. That's almost 8 complete games in extra innings.
And think of all that's just extra work for the bullpen, in addition to just finishing out the regular 9-inning games. And Kirk Gibson has talked about that. You know, some of the blown leads later, situations like this, kind of a byproduct of all that extra work. Guys are just tired. That's a heavy load, even with Josh Colmenter. I mean, you think about what Josh Colmenter has done, because so often Josh works, you know, during the 9-inning portion of the game that may go for 14 or 15. He comes in earlier. Or sometimes it flips around the other way and he pitches the 10th through the 14th.
Right. He pitched 3 1/3 yesterday, so I would assume he is unavailable.
Aaron Hill, Willie Bloomquist, Paul Goldschmidt, they roll the double play, and they strand and erase that leadoff single. We'll head to the bottom of the 10th at Chase Field. 4-6-3. Chavez delivers the game-tying run with his pinch hit sacrifice fly. It's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game as Tony Campana, who came in a pinch run for Matt Davidson, scores from third, tags up, and that tied it up. And now here we are again in extra innings. At Chase Field, 3-3 set for the bottom of the 10th. Some defensive changes for John Gibbons' Blue Jays. Kevin Pillar comes in. He will take over in left field, and Rajay Davis moves over to right after they hit for Moises Sierra. So Pillar is in left, Davis is in right, and Perez back out there for the Blue Jays. Win the game. That says it all. Just win, baby.
Get right to it.
Parra, Chavez, Pollock, 8, 9, and 1 here in the 10th. Gerardo singled and stole a base his last time up. Diamondbacks 9-0 when playing extra innings on a travel day. Trying to get to 10-0. Plane still idling on the runway right now. D-backs this year 15-5 in extra inning games overall. 5-2 at home. And today they have tied the franchise record for most extra inning games in a season, 21. Last time they did that, 1999. So let's party like it's and walk off with a win. Flying to San Francisco, all happy. 15-5 in extra innings. It's remarkable to play that many games, but to win that many. And naturally 10 of them on days where you're trying to catch a flight.
That leadoff man on. See what happens. Always big to get the leadoff guy on in extra inning ball games. Puts all kinds of pressure on the defense. A lot of decisions to be made by the manager, the pitcher, the catcher. How you position your defense. Put some pressure on.
There's the strikeout to open the 10th. Brings up Eric Chavez, who of course had the big walk-off hit on throwback night here over the weekend. So Perez has come in and struck out both batters he's faced, and with a 1 out in the 10th, they'll work to Eric Chavez, who, as we just showed you, tied up the game in his last at bat. Sac fly in the 7th. Eric had the walk-off hit on throwback night here Saturday. Oh, 2. Chavez 1 for 19 since coming off the DL. Back with you tomorrow for the first game of 4 against the Giants at AT&T Park. 6:45 pregame show. Center field, and that drops in for a 1-out single. Winning run aboard for the Diamondbacks.
You can see a pinch runner right here for Eric Chavez at first base. Got Adam Eaton available, Didi Gregorius.
Here comes Spanky. All these extra inning games I've made a decision to completely redesign the book for next year.
Yeah,
I'm going to leave like 9 spaces in everybody's box.
Yeah, I only go out to 12 innings, and then if I get a little bit creative and put another line down the end, I can add a 13th inning, but we've blown right by that many times this year.
We'll take a break. Erase, use ink, whatever you need. Waiting for fans. Find out everything you need to know about the world of sports and much, much more. Fox Sports 1 airs nightly. Channel listings, go to Fox Sports 1. 3-3. Diamondbacks have the winning run on first with 1 out. And the new pitcher for the Blue Jays, Jeremy Jeffress.
Jeffress pitched in 10 ball games for the Milwaukee Brewers back in the 2010 season. He was their #1 pick back in the 2006 draft. Traded to the Kansas City Royals in that deal that Unieski, Betancourt, Zach Greinke, a lot of big names involved. Jeffress was kind of a throw-in that deal to Kansas City. He's pitched in 27 games over the last 2 years with the Royals. Only a second appearance here this year for the Blue Jays.
Adam Eaton pinch running for Chavez, who had the 1-out single, is the winning run at first, 1 away. And here's A.J. Pollock, 1 for 4. He singled in the 5th. Jeffress has spent much of the year pitching for AAA Buffalo. He had 7 saves in 25 games, a 1.65 ERA. 1-0, 97. Eaton holds it first. There's a strike, 1-1. Base hit. It's into right. Eaton will take the turn and head for third. And the Diamondbacks, with 1 out, have the winning run 90 feet away. Big hit there by A.J. Pollock.
Nice inside-out swing that time, taking advantage of that hole on the right side. Good base running by Spanky Eaton to hurdle over that ball as it was headed into right field. Picks up speed, turns the corner, and ends up at third base.
Davis had no play in third, and now the Diamondbacks are in business. Adam Eaton, the winning run at third. A.J. Pollock aboard at first. 1 out, and here's Willie Bloomquist, who is 2 for 4. And 11 for 20 since he came back from the DL a week ago today. Diamondbacks lead the major leagues with 12 walk-off wins. Knocking on the door for 13 here. Infield in on the edge of the grass. 1 out.
A.J. Pollock will probably take second base here on the first pitch.
There he goes. Willie swings. It's up the line, and they let it go foul.
I mean, obviously the Blue Jays aren't concerned about A.J. Pollock at all. His run really doesn't mean anything. The only possible reason you would hold him on first base is to keep the double play in order, but Blue Jays drawn in all the way around. They're going to try to cut that run off at the plate, as they should. Outfielders playing shallow into a position where they think if they catch a ball right there, they should be able to make the throw to home plate in time.
And that outfield is creeping way in here. You see where the infielders are for Bloomquist. 0-1 now. Pollock takes off, pitches high, and he's at second. Only 1 run that matters, and it's right there. Adam Spanky Eaton at third base with 1 out.
line with some sinking action that time from Jefferson. It's nasty.
How about that? That's coincidence, not irony. Last time Willie had a walk-off hit against the Blue Jays. He's behind here, 1-2. Base hit! And for the 13th time in 2013, the Diamondbacks are walk-off winners. Three straight singles in the 10th, and the D-backs, for the 10th time on getaway day, win. They're a perfect 10 for 10 with a plane warming up.
Well, you heard Goldie say it earlier. You don't mind getting dirty as long as it means a win. Willie Bloomquist staying with that up the middle approach. You see him pumping his fist down that first base line. Oh, nice game. Big day for Willie. That was his third base hit, none bigger than this one, the game winner.
So for the Diamondbacks, that is 31 wins in their final at bat. Their 30th win this year in a one-run game, and their 13th walk-off win, all those the most in the major leagues. And they salvage the finale of the series and the homestand. Look out, Mark Reed, in that bullpen. It'll be a happy flight to San Francisco for the first of 4 against the Giants. Old man Willie. He's got to clean up first before he can talk to Jody Jackson. And we don't blame him with the mud and the gum and the water and the whole thing. Diamondback, remarkable 10-0 in extra inning games with a plane waiting. There's the bubble gum. That caps off the final piece of the ensemble. And let's go downstairs to Jody.
Willie Bloomquist, Paul Goldschmidt's yelling at you to smile. Great job in the walk-off situation there, but you threw me a curveball. You walked down to get a towel, I guess. You look a little dirty right now.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they've taken the walk-off celebration to a whole new level here. So, but I'm happy to be a part of it.
I have to ask you maybe what is more strange in your mind, 10 extra inning games on a getaway day, or the fact that you're 16-5 in extra innings. Are those mind-boggling numbers?
Well, we've certainly played our fair share of extra inning games this year, but you know, it's nice to come out on top more often than not. You know, guys keep battling and keep playing hard all the way until the end of the game. So it's a lot more fun and gratifying when you come out on the winning end.
You know, Eric Chavez gets on there, A.J. Pollock with the hit. And what are you trying to do there? A number of ways you could bring in that run, but what were you looking for?
Well, that guy's throwing 100 miles an hour, so I was trying not to get too big. He blew the second strike by me. You know, so I figured he was going to probably try and do that again. So I just tried to get down a little bit early and put a good swing on something.
You know, obviously this game, another strange one, the way that Randall started off, giving up 3 runs, and then he was unbelievable. I think through 9, your pitchers faced the minimum after that first inning. Can you just speak to the job that everyone did after that first?
Well, Randall did a great job keeping us in the game right there. He obviously doesn't want to go out and put up a 3 spot in the first inning, but after that he settled down and then threw a heck of a game, and his job from that point forward is just to keep us in the game and give our offense a chance to get going. So, you know, he did a great job.
All right, Willie, we'll let you go clean up for the plane ride.
Thank you.
All right, Willie Bloomquist. Todd, he doesn't look happy, but I think he is inside, and certainly the Diamondbacks are happy about trying to avoid the sweep here against the Jays, and they did that in walk-off fashion.
You got it, Jody. Thank you very much. We'll take a break here from Chase Field. Our coverage continues on Fox Sports Arizona. We have an abbreviated version of Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink. More post-game reaction inside the clubhouse. We hope we'll have time for sure. We'll hear from Diamondbacks manager Kirk Gibson in the wake of this victory here today on Wednesday. Getaway day, extra innings, deja vu all over again. Arizona Diamondbacks. There is some joy here. How about that? More to come in a matter of moments.